Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of SDSL Off the Track. It is now week 19 of the Monster Track season, and we've had a lot to cover this past weekend. No, it finally capping off a championship series that we had left into just right before World Finals, and then, of course, the boys already talked about World Finals the episode before this one. But of course, we're going to talk about the other things that also happened this weekend. Of course, bringing on tonight's guest co-host, I should say, is Nafagen.
Yeah, that's right. We're back at it for the second time this week. We've already discussed everything, or almost everything, that's going to be included at the World Finals. But for now, since it is a long ways away, we're also looking forward to everything else that's happening this weekend in the monster truck world.
Back with us here tonight is also Dorzy.
Yes, time to talk about what's happening this weekend and this past weekend. And man, what a time to be alive if you're going to be at the World Finals.
Yeah, interesting World Finals for sure. And at the end, we're going to talk about something that crossed my mind thanks to a certain critical um, that, made me think about it. And obviously, I already thought about it once we found out about the encores, but we'll get to that later before the episode wraps up. So, of course, we usually start off with Sports World. Nafagen, what happened there?
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on in the sports world as of late, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. We'll start off actually with some big things that have been announced today and throughout this week. The NFL schedule. It is officially out. The 2026 NFL schedule is here. Now, of course, it's a big schedule. We're not going through all of it, but some of the big takeaways from the schedule. The first game of the year, it's going to be a Super Bowl rematch, which I'm excited for. So the New England Patriots at the Seattle Seahawks. That is how the season is going to start. And then actually that's going to be on Wednesday night, which I believe is the first time I think ever that the opening game was on Wednesday. Cause the next day after that, the 49ers and Rams, they're going down under at Melbourne, Australia to play a Thursday night football game on Netflix because why not? A few other takeaways from the first week. Sunday night is going to be Dallas and the Giants. Okay, interesting choice. And then the first Monday night game, which I'm sure Lane is looking forward to, are the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. And a few other things, me as a Titans fan, I'm very sad because there are no primetime games for the Titans, but I guess I can understand because they're a hot garbage organization. But I can go on and on about that. I guess one more major thing to take away from the schedule is the Thanksgiving schedule, which I'm not going to lie, it's kind of peak. Because the first game you have the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions, as the Lions always host a Thanksgiving game around noon. And the Dallas Cowboys always host a game right after that too on Thanksgiving. They're hosting the Philadelphia Eagles this year. And then the night game, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills. So I'll also be looking forward to that one, and I'm sure Chris Collins will as well. But that's a few of the things to take away from the NFL schedule. The NBA playoffs is also getting into the thick of it as we're heading into the semifinals almost. Two teams have already locked their spot in the semifinals, that being the Oklahoma City Thunder and the New York Knicks. Now, in the east side of the bracket, the Cleveland Cavaliers are leading the Detroit Pistons 3-2. So if the Cavs win one more game, they will play the Knicks in the East Conference Championship. And in the West, the Minnesota Timberwolves are leading, actually no, the San Antonio Spurs are leading the Minnesota Timberwolves 3-2 in that series. And if the Spurs just win one more game, then they'll move on against the Thunder in the West Conference Championship. So a lot to look forward to in professional basketball. NASCAR, this past weekend, they made their return to the historic road track that is the Watkins Glen, bowling at the Glen, and our good buddy Shane Van Gisbergen gets that win with a total of 68 points. And right behind him is Michael McDowell. How about that? Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick. That rounds up your top 5. Great racing at this road track. Next up is the All-Star Race, the NASCAR All-Star Race, which is at Dover International Speedway. So it'll be nice for the drivers and the crews to take a bit of a break from the points chase and focus on celebrating the sport with this year's edition of the All-Star Race. Now, I finally get to talk again with Lane and Dor about some WWE because this past Monday was my first ever live WWE experience, and oh my gosh, I was in for a treat. As Knoxville, Tennessee got to see Monday Night Raw, and oh my gosh, some incredible action. Let's go over some of the big highlights here. It started off with Joe Hendry once again singing the Fire Logan Paul song, and everybody was chanting to it. He and the Street Profits defeat Logan Paul in the Vision to kick off the night. And also you had Penta absolutely clobbering the All Ego Ethan Page. Another big surprise in this event was, as you can see, Io Sky defeated one of the newest female wrestlers in Raw, which is Sol Ruka. Sky got a huge win there. And the Oba Femi challenge everybody was looking forward to was initially canceled because nobody wanted to challenge him. So he legit just brought out 2 backstage guys and just beat him up nonstop. And of course, Femi won. But the main event, actually, before that, Original El Grande Americano defeated Dominic Mysterio, which that was pretty cool to see as well. But yeah, the main event, it was the acknowledgement ceremony. It was going to be for Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, but it was Jacob Fatu who would spoil the party, throw Reigns through the commentator's table, and go for even more hits, even after the fight was originally ended. So yeah, incredible wrestling action. Lane, Dor, did you guys get to catch this as well? Monday Night Raw?
I want to be honest, I didn't watch any of it.
the one time I get to see it live.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
the
Go
only
ahead.
reason why I didn't watch it is because I normally just watch the clips of reactors watching it. And there's a lot of hot water going on with TKO right now and creators. So no one really uploaded their reactions.
Oh yeah, cause WWE is cracking down on all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Raw either. I was unfortunately at work, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad you had a great time. I think you're almost fully converting into one of us. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. Oh, really? I'm glad you finally, had the time to go to one and see what the jazz was all about.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience finally getting to see what it was all about. And I'll see if I can go to more in the future. But now I'll turn it over to you to discuss the monster trucks.
All right, so the shows we had this last weekend, I just got to stretch over to close my door. It is gonna be like a hot box here in my recording room, I guess you could say. I gotta figure a way of that out because I'm literally like starting to fall asleep and I'm also like sweating, so I have to open the door every once in a bit. But let's see what the shows we had this past weekend. Starting off, if I can put the screen here in, yeah, there we go. Starting off with the Monster Truck Roundup in Luray, Virginia, with Backdraft Ty Cornelius Jr., Bad News Travels Fast, Brandon Durrell, Be Aware, Jessica Millard, Metal Monster, Shane Grunseth, Muddy Girl Camouflage, Justin Perkins, and Shockwave. Bill Brockman Jr., Wichita Falls, Texas, had the Monster Trucks Maniac, with Elder Abuse, Mike Sofa, Fire Hazard, Brian Harwood, Ghost Rider, Johnny Davenport, Girl Power, Scott Sofa. Guyman, Oklahoma, had the Mayhem Monster Truck Tour. No, not Chris Kohler's Mayhem. List lineup included Bad Decision, Alec White, Crazy Heifer, Chris Davis, King Crunch, Dylan Fenley, and Nightlife, Aaron Basil. Monster X Tour in Turlock, California, with Barefoot Paul Craighead, Ball Skater Brian Leach, Hammer Down Andy Sever, Rampage Josh Garrity, and Werewolf Stanley Hernandez. Monster Trucks All Out in Milton, Ontario, Bucking Bronco Kevin Lupson outfoxed Jim Pigeon, Robo Shark Sharon Lupson, and T-Rex Mike Worsley. Woodland, California, for a Berry Fest show in the Yolo County Fairgrounds with Cyclops, Terry Woodcock, Dryer Money, that's a new name, Jared Compton, Terminator Tyler Rome, and unnamed and untamed Juan Munoz. SC Monster Truck Madness in Swansea, New Hampshire. Yeah, New Hampshire. Crime Time Brittany Ames, Culture Shock Daniel Ames, Hello Razor Jesse Hinton, Old Red Truck with Jeff Fielding, and Webslinger Shane Oblin. Dallas, Texas, and Howard Lake, Minnesota both had Monster Truck Wars. I really don't feel like going through this lineup. Prince George, British Columbia, had the Monster Madness Tour. Anger Management, Jesse Como, Crude Behavior, Jared Vogel, Loud and Dirty, Perry Como, Roughneck, Jason Court, Sabotage, Crystal Carey, and of course Severn, Ontario. Also the Monster Madness with Helion, Richard Bernier, Psychopath, Pat Paquette, Rat Nasty, Ryan Como, and Trainwreck, Matt Briand. Malicious Monster Truck Tour in Stockton, California with Elbows Up, Joe Briggs, Identity Theft, Miles Parker, Mixed Up, Gavin Sell, Rockstar, Bill Payne, Spitfire, Nick Jones, and Tynes, Donald Epidendio. Shermanton, Utah had the Insanity Next Level Tour with Dragon Slayer Caden Morris, and Anthony Ritter. Anthony Ritter was driving Formageddon this last weekend. Tim Manchester, Hillbilly, Midnight Panic, Leroy Latham, and the Insanity Next Level Tour Truck with David Tucker. Renegade Monster Trucks in Quarterville, Pennsylvania, at the Buck. For this lineup was including of Crustacean Greg Wickenbach, Jurassic Attack Preston Collins, Lumberjack Zach Wickenbach, Smashosaurus Tim Jones, and Winnie Hayes. Stinger Unleashed. Oh, whoa. This is a new logo. I don't know what it is at the bottom. But Stinger Unleashed CJ Re2. What the hell? We have another Stinger? Another Stinger Unleashed, but with the Wayne's towing.
Oh no. Double trouble.
Yeah. And it gets worse with Zane Re2 behind the wheel. So Wayne's company in tow Stinger Unleashed sponsored truck with Zane Re2 behind the wheel. First time in a while, I believe. And then Tailgater Tim Jones, Peloton, Illinois, saw the 2X Monster Trucks Live Tour with Bounty Hunter Jimmy Crean, Jacqueline Hyde Corey Kinold, Rowan Rex Mike Nugent, Scarlet Bandit Don Crean, and Sharkbite with Jeremiah Parras. Talking about Jeremiah Parras, he absolutely told Brutal that they're working on the back half right now, as they put up a post just a day ago. Kicker Monster Truck Show in Bossier City, Louisiana, with Bigfoot Josh Baumgartner, Double Trouble Tyler Groth, Evil Leprechaun Thomas Kimmons, Invictus with Ryan Dietrich, and it's, I believe, the same body from a few months ago, just a new name on it. Monster Moose Anthony Brenner, and the veteran Travis Groth. Full Throttle Monster Trucks in Waterloo, Illinois with Bigfoot Roger Gager, Tour Crew Dozer Dave Alford, Maximus Tommy Veralone, Monkey Business Jasmine Borders, and Ray Bestos Thomas Borders. Mansfield, Ohio. This one's a show of the ages, as there's a few people who've gone to this show this last weekend. Of course, our homeboy here, Brett, went over this last weekend in Mansfield. For the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags, of course, this is, if anyone's familiar with Joe Sylvester, this is his promotion. This lineup included, and it actually kind of looks like a banger, American Scout Colton Kaiser, Excalibur Mike Pagarulo, Jester Matt Pagarulo, Kraken Nick Pagarulo, Misfire Brooke Pagarulo, all four Pagarulos in the same show for the very first time. Ramdemption Kurt Kramer, Raminator Mark Hall, and Virginia Giants with Cliff Val. We've seen a few things out of this show. Is there anything takeaways from this show that you guys saw?
Well, I need to look back and see like who won each competition, but I'm sure it was a lot of Team Tom Floyd Motorsports. But it was a tale of 2 days in terms of weather, because the first day, May 8th, Friday, was an absolute mud fest. It was kind of difficult for some drivers to do some things on that track, but you still had guys like Mike Pag still sending it. So Saturday was much better in terms of weather, much more of a drier track. So a lot of drivers still able to get some big moves, some big air. All around, just a good weekend of monster truck action at that Mansfield Speedway. It's a good sized floor, so drivers got a lot of room to do some cool moves out there.
Well, I was at two different shows this past weekend and quite busy, so I didn't really catch on any highlights of the show, so I don't know what happened at it.
Well, that now leads us into the jam shows we had this past weekend. Now, of course, we're gonna go skip over Worcester and Manchester since Dorsey went over both of these shows on the very last episode. Uh, so we're gonna go through Helsinki, Moline, and Denver. Of course, I'm gonna start off with Helsinki. Of course, we had a Thursday jam last week, and for this episode, for this last week. So starting off with the first show, your racing winner is Peter Nyman as El Toro Loco, defeating Brandon Arthur and Earthshaker. Skills goes to El Toro Loco. Freestyle is Earthshaker, but the overall goes to Brandon Arthur, Earthshaker. On to show 2, your racing winner is Brandon Arthur, Earthshaker, defeating Charlie Pock and Gravedigger. Skills goes to El Toro Loco once again. Freestyle, Gravedigger, but the overall goes to Earthshaker once again with 16 points. Show 3, your racing winner once again is Earthshaker, defeating El Toro Loco. Skills goes to Earthshaker, and Freestyle goes to Charlie Pocket and Gravedigger, but the overall once again Earthshaker. And on to the last show of the weekend in Helsinki, Finland. It is Charlie Pocket and Gravedigger, this time defeating, I really wanted to say Alex Barton, Brandon Arthur and Earthshaker. Skills goes to Earthshaker, Freestyle goes to Gravedigger. In the battle of the two trucks, Earthshaker comes out on top, 2 points over Gravedigger, ending the weekend with 16 points in Helsinki. Brandon Arthur goes 4 for 4 in overalls. Not only that, he literally just caps it off, getting an invite to the World Finals just recently under Megalodon this time. But what do you guys think about Brandon Arthur absolutely killing it so far now that Blake Granger is no longer one of his fiercest foes on the track? Now he has Pocket, Nyman, and Waters, and a few other names. But Brandon Arthur's absolutely been killing it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he was the 2025 Rising Star. I believe that's what it was, Rising Star last year. And he's proven it this year why he was that. And getting the invite to the World Finals, I don't think there was anyone else like good enough to be, well, besides Pocket, to be a part of that. And he proved it over this past weekend, sweeping all 4 overall event championships.
Yeah, especially this past weekend in Helsinki. This is just a testament to that. Whatever truck that Brandon Arthur gets thrown in, he will perform very well at it. And he has performed well in several trucks this year. Some JCB Diggertron and Grave Digger and a few others. But we've talked about on Monday, or no, on Tuesday, him getting the World Finals invite driving Megalodon. I got a good feeling he's going to perform very well in that truck. We'll see what happens come July when it's World Finals time. But definitely a huge momentum boost for Brandon, especially after the performance he had this past weekend, sweeping all of the overalls.
Yeah, can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see him in Megalodon this upcoming July. Now we're skipping over East and Freestyle Mania. We're gonna go over to Moline, Illinois for Arena West. Pulling up the results here. So we had a couple
Beat
of
you to
shows.
it.
So going
You
over.
want
I'm sorry, what was that?
you want to do that or me?
I'll just go ahead through all of them. I'm already on all of them. Sorry.
All right, before you do, say hello to Max, everybody.
Uh-oh.
Wow, Lane, don't
Hi,
sound too happy now.
Hi, Max. How you doing?
hey Max. He's shy, everybody. Just give him some time.
Am I the only
Anyway,
one that's on his camera?
Nope, you are not the only one.
Oh, perfect.
we're going
Continue,
on to
Lane.
show 1 for Arena West this last weekend. Gravedigger, Matt Cody defeats Earthshaker, Alex Barden. Not Brandon Arthur, Alex Barden this time. Skills goes to Jurassic Attack, Tim Hall Jr. Freestyle goes to Megalodon, Angelina Knock. And look at this! She got the overall this past weekend. First for her, I believe, ever in her career. So big congrats.
There you
Wait,
go.
Max, you cut out there. What were you saying?
You cut off again?
There's the Max.
I think he cut out again.
Yeah, he cut off again.
Yeah, he cut off again.
All right, well, anyways.
Well, a big victory for Angelina Knock and Megalodon. Finally I think she's finally getting used to the truck. and on the way to an overall. Big years for Logan Ashline and Angelina Knox, both getting an overall before Caleb Blood. Um,
Oh
Next
wow.
up on show 2, your racing winner is Gravedigger, this time defeating Team Throttle teammate Jurassic Attack. Your skills winner is once again Jurassic Attack. Freestyle is Tim Hall Jr. Jurassic Attack, and overall goes to Jurassic Attack with 17 points, just clearing his brother Travis Hall Velociraptor, uh, by 3 points. And that was all the shows we actually had this past weekend. For Moline. Uh, did you guys get to catch any of the action from then?
Nope.
No, neither.
No,
I did
not
not
one
either.
second.
Actually, it was just 2 shows on one day, really. I mean, go figure where I was at, really. But anyway, that was all these shows. That was all the events we had from Arena West. Of course, we talked about who is going to World Finals this upcoming July. That is, of course, Armando Castro and Matt Cody. Now we're going over to Denver, Colorado, where we played the finale for Stadium Championship Series West, where, of course, the big battle was Tyler Meninga's Gravedigger in second and Ryan Anderson in first. So we're going to go through this show. Nothing I really have to talk about because I would mention here, but then Max is going to be like, you didn't? Anyway, I don't have a lot of things to talk about from, like, Pit Party, but either way, we're just gonna go through the show of all the things that happened this past week, and there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. Of course, Megalodon John Gordon misses out the entire show because it broke a few pistons in the engine, and and he did mention right before freestyle, or sometime in between freestyle, there was a completely hard fix, and they just could not do that on time, even before racing or skills. So they sat out for the whole entire show. So Megalodon is not here to compete in Denver. It felt weird not having a Megalodon for a show at all. And then we're down 1 truck actually as well. It also felt weird seeing Gravedigger actually get beat early in the racing competition by Zombie Stars and Stripes. Usually this whole season, we've seen Tyler go all the way up until the finals, either facing Dalton, Ryan, Barry a couple times, Maven, Bryce, but this time he got beat in the first round of racing, which is something that doesn't usually happen for Tyler. Other than that, your racing winner was the leader, Son of a Digger, Ryan Anderson, defeating Bryce Kenny and Tech Deck Rec Deck. I did see the group chat where a lot of people are saying that, of course, the trucks were looking like they were struggling in speed, not going any fast enough. I kind of agree. Of course, given with the fact that the elevation, we're high up, a mile high up above sea level, of course, the altitude is going to mess with the trucks. From my perspective versus your guys' perspective on live stream, do you guys kind of agree that they looked a little slower than usual?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest with you, but that could be a likely reason why racing was so different up there.
Yeah, either way, there was some tight, close racing. Literally, like the first race we started with was Bailey Circuit and El Trolico, like literally neck to neck end. And of course, the same goes for the finals. But Son of a Digger leads the overall standings heading into skills. Into skills is third was Shell Shocked, second was Tech Deck Rec Deck, and of course, first was Gravedigger with the end to end bicycle from one side to the other 3 whole times. That actually was kind of cool. One thing I do also have to talk about was Son of a Digger's sidewall to wheelie, but it just came short of completing it. That actually looks pretty cool, honestly. The skills was looking fun. I would say half of this was looking neat. The other was just looking, very cookie cutter or really simple. And then we ended off with Zombie Stars and Stripes going off for a Sky Willy, which of course doesn't even get the top 3. It did get the top 5, but it doesn't get the top 3 there. And it's the first time I've ever heard booze onto Gravedigger for the first time ever in my life. When it comes to a win that they thought they deserved it, but Gravedigger actually, I thought, probably deserved the skills win. It was pretty cool. Freestyle going into the top 3. Son of a Digger Finishes third with a 9.191. Tech Deck Rec Deck with 9.314. And Wildside doing it once again. After winning freestyle last year in Denver, does it once again, back-to-back freestyle wins for Wildside and Mr. Zach Garner with a 9.418. On to the overall. We've had 3 different winners so far. And if you think any of these 3 winners would get anywhere close to this guy right here, finishing second all across the board, is Bryce Kenny and Tech Deck Rack Deck with 33 points. But other than that was not enough to even claim the championship, because the championship now goes on to Ryan Anderson, Son of Digger, once again for, I believe, the 5th time now.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, this is like his 5th straight series championship. I believe since 2021. He won 21. He won 22. He won 20. Did he win 23 or was that Tyler?
No, that was Tyler.
Okay, 24. He did not win.
So I think this is this is his 5th total then.
Yeah. Yeah, because he won 24, and then he just won. He didn't. Oh, he won. No, he didn't win last year. But yeah, I believe this is 5th. I think we're going one like late 2010s, 28. No, not 2017. 2017. Yeah. Wow, that is a big span in years. But Ryan Anderson clinches his 5th series championship and goes on to Salt Lake City for the World Finals here in about a month and a half from now. But what did you guys think post Denver's show of the whole entirety of Stadium Series West?
It was a big final show to wrap up the series and what's been an exciting series. Especially the points between the top 2, Tyler and Ryan, was close for quite a bit, but of course Ryan pulling away at the last bit. Zach Garner's freestyle and him going out with that win was cool to see to wrap up the season, as well as Bryce getting the Denver overall for the 2nd consecutive year in a row. Last year got a Monster Mutt. This year he's got it with his new identity, Tech Deck Rec Deck. So yeah, a great last stadium show to wrap up the points series. Now, of course, we've got one more stadium show before World Finals, and that's Pittsburgh, but that's a long ways away. And we'll see a few of these drivers from this series over there in Pittsburgh. So, great way to wrap up Stadium Series West.
I was kind of hoping Stadium West was going to be more competitive, like points wise. I kind of figured that Tyler and Ryan would have finished 1st and 2nd, but I was hoping that like Zach and Bryce and Dalton were going to be more competitive against them, like closer points wise. But overall, like Zach finished 2nd most of overalls, so that's a really great accomplishment for his 2nd time ever being on a stadium tour. And Tyler dominated racing. He got 10 racing wins out of the 21 shows. That's almost half of it. And yeah, and a lot of surprise winners too, like John Gordon getting an overall event championship was awesome to see. And then of course the next show after that, he doesn't compete at all because of like what you said about his engine. But congrats to Ryan. Ryan and Tyler have been on 3 stadium tours together, and now Ryan is ahead of him 2-1.
Right on. So now we're going to look at the final standings post Week 19. Of course, your champion here in Stadium Series East is JCB Diggertron's Tristan England. Stadium Series West, your champion is Ryan Anderson, finishing with 550. Tyler Meningen Gravedigger finishing with 538. Bar Massaro Zombie Stars and Stripes 466 in 3rd. Bryce Kenny the Tech Rec Deck with 460. Dalton Widener and Shell Shocked 451 in 5th. Might as well go through the rest here. 6th was Zach Garner and Wildside 449. Corey Romo, Bailey Circuit 401. John Gordon, Megalodon 343. Fat Mike Christensen, Vendetta 328. Cole Vinard, Black Pearl 279. Jamie Garner, Ultra Local 254. And Caleb Blood finishing a whooping dead last with Sparkle Smash in 252. That is your final points standings from a Stadium Series West. Big congrats to Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. Arena West is Armando Castro. We already knew that. John Zimmer Jr. Arena Series East and the Freestyle Mania Series. Team Gravediggers, Weston Anderson, and Noah Bakken. So that is all the points we had from this final weekend of the regular season, as we do have a few more shows up ahead. So, what did you guys think of the whole? I mean, we're not gonna talk about the whole season, but what did you guys think of the whole season as a whole? Watching these last 19 weeks, what did you guys think of them?
Um, if I do say anything negative about these tours, I'm probably going to get deducted 500 points. But anyways, yeah, this was quite an eventful season, to say the least, with Monster Jam. There were a lot of twists and turns, Blake Granger, but all around some good competition. Adding a tour with Freestyle Mania in it was quite a different change of perspective, seeing how FMX would shake up the point standings for the drivers as well, and it did. And all the other tours as well, very competitive too. Arena Series West, everybody knows what happened at the end of the season for that one. John Zimmer Jr., dominant as usual. Only independent tour champion, and he's done it twice in a row. And the stadiums were pretty exciting to watch too. Maybe not so much near the end of the season when the points were starting to be pulled away by the leaders, but these drivers that performed well this year, I'm very excited to see how they do in the World Finals, especially with the 28 truck lineups.
Yeah, I think there's some positives and some negatives in this. I'm still not a big fan of the point deductions. I mean, I understand why they do it, but what I don't get is why would you award someone the win if you're just going to give them minus points? I don't know. I just don't understand that. They shouldn't just get the win then. But besides that, it seems kind of similar to last year because I thought we were about to get all the same 5 champions as last year. We almost did. I thought Tyler was going to come back and beat Ryan. Blake pretty much had the tour, and then of course we all know what happened at the end of that. But I think this year was a slight downgrade than last year, just slightly. But my only thing positive wise is I think a lot of independent drivers kind of stepped up their game. Like Chris Kohler, for instance, a top 3 on a stadium tour. That is huge for him. And Zach Garner, like what I said earlier, finished in second in overall wins on Stadium West is awesome. And Trent Robbins finished top 3 on an arena tour. So the independents are looking strong for Monster Jam.
Yeah, I couldn't have agreed with that anymore. Like you said, Chris Kohler definitely stepped up his game. Uh, Zach Garner just really doing Zach Garner things, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for the young independent guys, especially names like Dalton Widener, Zach, and Chris Kohler. Of course, being the youngest guys here. Um, but I think this year it wasn't perfect. It was very controversial to say at least. Like the points deductions were a big factor into this. Of course, the Blake Ranger stuff, but we already did talk about that. Um, but we also did see some big things too. Like Camden Murphy had lead for a while. Of course, he dropped that ball. Um, and then of course John Zimmer Jr. getting himself another tour championship once again on a back-to-back run. But no, I think the season was fun. It wasn't perfect. It was pretty fun to watch. While there was a lot of things going on, I couldn't really care less. I still thought this whole season was just fun in general. Um, but yeah, I think that's my thoughts, my 2 cents on the season from this year. Um, as we now go into the shows for this upcoming weekend for week 20. Give me a second here. We have a lot of shows, and Jam is not one of them for a weekend. So the upcoming shows we have this upcoming weekend is Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire in Reading, Pennsylvania, of course with the East Coast Tour. Fresno, California with the West Coast Tour. Same lineup as always, only Joe Cypher, 5 Alarm, Caleb Yanisich, Bigfoot. Bone Shaker, Clint Watson, Dylan Bartz, Megarex, Rhinomites, Anthony Rader, Skelosaurus, Mike Phelps, and Tiger Shark, Mike Mentor. The only thing, this is a fairgrounds show, so this will not be under the Glow and Fire gimmick. Next up is Monster Trucks Maniac in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Crazy Heifer with the TBA slot. Fire Hazard, Chris Davis, Johnny Davenport, both Ghost Rider and Girl Power. Dylan Finley, King Crunch, and Nitro Hornet with the TBA slot. Grants, New Mexico for the No Limits Monster Trucks with the Felon, Gabe Montoya, Geronimo reincarnated, making its return this year under the reigns of Rob Poutre behind the wheel this year. Misfit with Josh Shakespeare. That's a cool name. TBA slots for the fourth truck. Dixon, Tennessee for the Monster Truck Bash. Bad News Travels Fast. Brandon Durrell. Godzilla, Ryan Holman. Rescue Racer Josh Holman in a TBA slot as well. Santa Rosa, California will see the Monster X Tour with Barefoot, Paul Craighead. Boss Gator, Brian Leach. Hammered Down and the Savior. Rampage, Josh Garrity and Werewolf Stanley Hernandez. Franklin, Pennsylvania with Renegade Monster Trucks and Franklin, Pennsylvania. Hurricane Force, Steven Thompson, Jurassic Attack, Preston Collins, Stinger Unleashed, CJ2, Velociraptor, Preston Price, and Virginia Giants, Cliff Val. Monster Wars in Phoenix, Arizona, and Conroe, Texas. Max, quick question for you, bro. Are you or you're not going to Wars?
Unfortunately, I'm not going this year. Unfortunately, very unfortunate. Unfortunate.
More like fortunate.
He's big sad.
More like fortunately, you're glad that you're not going.
Yeah, I went last year, but with my busy schedule this year, I can't make it to Wars, but I do want to let you know that I am going to a Monster X shows the last week of May.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Plus, I know those shows will be better because one is gonna be on a freaking speedway, so that'll be cool.
Oh, all right. So Monster Truck Wars will be in Conroe and Phoenix. Next level tour will be in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Dragon Slayer, Caden Morris, Farmageddon, Anthony Ritter, Billy Tim Manchester, and Leroy Latham with Midnight Panic. Monster Trucks All Out in Navan, Ontario. With Axe, Joe Foley, Bucking Bronco, Kevin Lupson, Odd Fox, Jim Pigeon, Robo Shark, Shannon Lupson, T-Rex, Mike Worsley, and a Team Scream Truck slide will be revealed next week or this weekend. Black Creek, British Columbia with the Malicious Monster Truck Tour. Of course, this is the straight up racing camp. Same as always, Elbows Up, Identity Theft Max, Mixed Up, Rockstar, and Spitfire with the TBA slot. So Nick Jones may or may not be driving this week. Kokomo, Indiana, with the 2X Monster Trucks live tour. Bounty Hunter Jimmy Crean, Jekyll and Hyde Corey Kinel, Ron Rex with Mike the Nugent, and Sharkbite with Jeremiah Paris.
What?
Yeah, no Dan. No Dan lately.
No Dan the man.
Oh, unless Dan is still driving King Sling.
Huh?
Unless Dan is still driving King Sling.
We'll see. If anybody has been going to the shows, please let us know what's going on with Dan. Anyway, Next up, Crystal, Michigan is another Monster Truck Throwdown show with Little Miss Madness, Athena Kozel, Psycho Circus, Mason Rife, Rat Attack, Jacob Ladwick, Frontier Truck Parts, Sinistar with Elliot Miller, Terminal Velocity, John Zimmer Jr., and Uproar, John Zimmer Sr. Charleston, Illinois will be the Full Throttle Monster Trucks with American Scout, Colton Kaiser, Bigfoot, Roger Gager, Plain Hooky, J.R. Seasock, Relentless, Bryant Rogers, and Stomper, Dalton Vanskyok. And this one is, of course, the famous International Monster Truck Museum in Butler, Indiana. Of course, they're going to have a nice little show out there with American Outlaw, Brandon Overmeyer, Bigfoot, Thomas Borders. This one is interesting. It's Thomas Borders Bigfoot, but with the blue and purple logo. So we'll see what that body will be this weekend. Blue Ox, Jay Bozart, Clumsy Monkey, Jasmine Borders, Country Strong, Eric Howe, and Ray Bestos, Damon Mitchell. And next up is The Jam from Cardiff, UK, over the pond. This lineup includes Earthshaker, Brandon Arthur, El Troloco, Peter Nyman, Gravedigger Charlie Pocken, Megalodon Mike Waters Jr., Dalmatian Colt Stevens. They really brought bro out overseas?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep, no Blake Rangers,
Well,
so
I mean,
you gotta bring
duh.
someone.
Colt
Colt
Stevens
Stevens.
hasn't done an international show since like 2022, 23.
Yeah, like since what, Max D?
So yeah, Max D was like the last time he had an international show, but that's cool. Well, Sparkle Smash, Chelsea Van Cleve, Thunder Roars, Geneva Keller, and Zombie Joe Dennis. So I actually want to start off. Of course, this is even though we already finished up the regular season, we're still doing the top three. I actually want to start off with Dorsey. Who are your top three for Cardiff?
Ooh, top 3 for Cardiff. Well, I gotta go, of course, with the World Finals driver in this, Brandon Arthur and Earthshaker after I said Queen. Wow, a clean sweep in Finland. Then I'm gonna go with Peter Nyman and El Toro Loco, and Charlie Pocket and Gravedigger will be my top 3.
All right, Nofagen.
All right, I am also going to go with the World Finals driver in this event, Colt Stevens. I'm also going with Brandon Arthur, and I'll go with Charlie Plotkin as well.
All right, so for my top three, I'm gonna go with Brandon Arthur, Peter Nyman. He's been killing it so far lately, and of course Colt Stevens. No stranger to the big floors. Cardiff is of course known for big floor. Virginia Beach is the host of the Monsters on the Beach shows. Of course, an annual show, a fan favorite actually, up in the Virginia Beach. Of course, his lineup includes Aramel, Jordan Fisher, Blockhead, Darren Basil, Dirk Crew, Jerry Beck, Dirk Crew Dozer, David Alford, Frostbite, Kylie Kent, The Haymaker, Chucky Pocken, Maximus, Jared Smith, Shaker, Ryan Disharoon, Smash the Sarge, Travis Mowry, and Tallgator Tim Jones. This is an absolute stacked lineup. And of course, we have word here that Dorsey will be going for his first ever Virginia Monsters on the Beach. So how excited are you?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. I'm excited for this lineup. I've only seen 6 out of the 10 drivers in person, but I've only seen 1 out of the 10 identities in person, which is Shaker. So I'm excited to see Blockhead for the first time, Dirt Crew and Dozer, and literally everything, every single truck there. I'm only going for the Sunday show, so the end where the champion will be crowned. But I'll be heading up to Virginia tomorrow morning.
Safe travels there.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be there for like a week and a half.
Oh, all right. So I actually want to start off with you. We're instead of the top three, we're gonna predict who is the king of the beach, or is that what it's? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, that's what they call their champion,
So
King of the Beach.
I want to start off with Dorsey, since you're gonna be the only person, of all three, 4 of us here, over there. Who do you think is gonna be the king of the beach, at the end of the weekend?
I think, well, this person here is known for winning championships. He did this year. I'm gonna go with the 2026 toughest monster truck champion, Too Tall, David Alford, becoming the, what is it called, the king of the beach, champion of the beach.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now Virginia,
That's
who is your pick?
Well, I was going to say David Olford and the Dirk Dozer, but I'll change it up a bit for some variety. Give me Clash from Crusher. Excuse me, Haymaker with Chucky Plotkin behind the wheel. And you never know, he has surprised a lot of people in the Monster Jam this year. So he might surprise the people at Virginia Beach. And last year's champion was a surprise driver, Jared Smith in Cyber Attack. So maybe this year, the driver might be the next generation, Chucky Plotkin.
And I'm going to take it over to Max. I know you're here for a reason. Who do you think is going to be the king of the beach?
I'm going to say Too Tall. Too Tall has been very impressive this year. I think he can win the beach this year.
All right, could agree. I was going to say Too Tall, but that is literally 2 picks right there. And I did also want to say Chucky, but Who knows?
Yeah, Chucky
Pick,
was.
pick Kylie Kent. You won't.
Nah, nah, no. Uh, I'm gonna
Pick
go with
Travis
the.
Maurer.
I'm gonna go with the dark horse. I'm gonna go with an absolute veteran of the sport, 20-year veteran of the sport. Of course, that is. I'm talking about Darren Basil and Blockhead. He is also one to watch out in certain shows. And he is my final pick for the King of the Beach in Virginia Beach. Looks like it's always to be a fun time there. I want to talk about these shows as well because I know it's Wildwood and Virginia with these shows. The hotel views are so sick, actually. Like, being in the stands must be fun, but like the hotel ones, can you beat that?
I would love to experience a show at Virginia Beach in those hotels, but I gotta imagine they gotta be expensive
They
over
Oh,
were.
I
there.
bet.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna do originally, and I saw how expensive they were, and I said, "Nah, I'm okay."
How
Yeah.
much? How much were they going up for?
Like I saw like a few that were going for like what, like 350, and I said, "Absolutely not."
Oh, oh yeah. Well, I mean, still like that's an absolute killer view. Plus it's like you ain't even got to go anywhere like after the show's over. You just
Mhm.
walk in through the balcony and that's it. You're already at your room.
Thing is, if we
What
were like, staying overnight, I would totally just do it like that. But
Yeah.
I have family up there, so we're gonna be there for our whole week, anyways.
All right.
what a life that would be though. Just chilling in your hotel balcony, watching monster trucks on the beach.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my monster truck bucket lists. Go to one of the beach shows, or maybe hopefully both. Wildwood, of course, and Virginia. But looks like to be a fun time. Dorsey, hope you all have fun this Sunday. All right, so we're at the end of the show, but I do want to bring something up since we all did talk about World Finals on this last episode, and I was watching Critical Creepers with the podcast account. I know, heartbreak. Uh, Everyone talking about how Son of a Digger is not getting an encore. Of course, the encores we're getting this year is El Toro Loco 25th anniversary and Stars and Stripes, which are both going to be happening after the Friday and Saturday freestyles, like the old times. So, I want to start off with what do you guys think on the encores we had this year? Then we'll get to Son of Diggers on what that would have been like. But what do you guys think on the encores we got for this year?
I'm a fan of the encores. I mean, it's a special occasion for El Toro Loco and the 25th anniversary because it is a very iconic truck and making Monster Jam what it is today. So I'm glad that we're celebrating that. We'll see if Felodine has anything cool up their sleeve for this one. And then 4th of July, very understandable to have a Stars and Stripes themed encore with will most likely be the 6 Stars and Stripes trucks and maybe a few more things as well. We'll see. But I can imagine they'll be flooding all the trucks on the track afterwards and having a crap ton of fireworks. So overall, I'm a fan of the encores this year at the World Finals. I'm glad they're just more than stunts like we have seen the past few years.
There's nothing I need to add for the Stars and Stripe one, but for the El Toro Loco one, I'm definitely excited for that. I think what I said a couple days ago on the pod is I hope they do something with like Loopy. I hope he like actually appears on the field like after the encore with the El Toro Loco. Like they do something with it with him there. Because of course he's going into the Hall of Fame this year, and I'm just like I don't know, maybe like do what they did like with the Gravedigger encore, like you have all the old drivers in a thing or something. Like they show all the drivers like on the board like they did for the 40th anniversary of Gravedigger. Just something. I hope it's more than just, a freestyle with all the El Toros.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I was gonna say they did bring out Dennis to the track in World Finals 21. That one encore, the 40th anniversary encore. I agree. I hope they bring out Lupe, or probably hopefully invite any former El Toro Loco drivers. Of course, Chuck Warner being one of them. Mark McDonald, but he's not in a failed contract anymore. Neither is Chuck. Neither is anyone else, especially Becky, which would be fun to see just appear as as like a little small cameo as part of the recognition for the team. But Lupe is, of course, the bigger one since he is inducted to the Hall of Fame. So I do agree with Dorsey here, being brought out into the track some way or another. But I hope that the Ultraloco Encore is like all trucks running around like crazy. Like you got whatever, okay, say like whatever truck they have remaining, like MJ, if MJ doesn't get past LCQ, he is good to go for the Encore. If Fernando is out, like what is he on? Friday freestyle? Oh wait, he is, I think. Well, whatever, right? If
In the same day.
Armando and Friday and Fernando the same. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
go. Well, if their trucks are not too broken by then, maybe hopefully they have them out. But either way, they also have backups. Also,
Wait,
have,
is
like,
the LCQ
Jamie-
winner like also with the other two El Toros? I don't remember what the list was.
I'm sorry.
Because
What?
that'd be funny. I said it's like the LCQ winner on the same day as the two El Toros. I don't remember what it was, but it'd be funny if it was and like all three. Like
It's
if
either-
somehow MJ wins.
It's either MJ or Joe.
Yeah, and all three are just in the same day or on the same group of 14.
Yeah, and not only that, the Encore is literally the same night. So if
Yeah.
MJ or Joe don't get past LCQ, we will definitely for sure see them. Probably we'll see Jamie. Of course, he's not competing any of the competitions. Armando or Fern, or if their trucks are still healthy enough to go back out, or go out on a backup. Hopefully, it's something crazy, more fitting that we wanted out of the 40th anniversary encore, or something that we would have wanted for Max the 20th encore, which we still never got. But I hope it's something cool. I hope it's something neat, not just like a truck jump that goes all over the trucks, like the 40th one was. But that's what I hope they do for the Ultra Loco Encore. Now, the Stars and Stripes, of course, like Nafajin said, it may be all 6, maybe more, depending what other, Stars and Stripes themed trucks we may have again. Maybe like Avenger again, because, Jim. Or literally someone else. It could be even Wildside. I just like a wild guess. But the Encore I do want to talk about, since there is a few people talking about it, is the Son of a Digger 15th anniversary. Of course, Ryan's not getting an Encore, but there's an obvious reason to this. I mean, of course, he's freestyling Saturday. There's one obvious thing here. There's only one Son of a Digger, and there's only been 3 people to ever, no, actually 4, to drive that. The other 3 were Weston, Brandon Vincent, and Carl Van Horn.
2 of those happened in England, though.
Yeah.
And one of them was in Foxborough.
Huh?
And the other one was in Foxborough.
Yeah. But still, it's like you only have one Son of a Digger. And I don't know how you would get that done. It's like, do you just send Ryan out on his own, do like an extra run on a broken truck? That's
Recreate World Finals 12.
right? Just like debut his 4th new chassis.
Yeah.
But that's where I have a thing to nitpick with everyone, and I hope they're listening to this part specifically, because I know I've been kind of on a Son of a Digger train lately, especially like I've never been excited for more of a Son of a Digger win this year, especially the series championship. It's like this was a big milestone for Ryan Anderson. Of course, they didn't celebrate the 10th. We were still under COVID, and they probably didn't have enough money for that. But it's like, come on, guys. But, of course, like I said, there's only one Son of a Digger. There's only been a few Son of a Digger designs with mostly the toys, like the Son of a Digger Fire, which I actually hope we would have gotten at some point. Son of a Digger Gears. The blue one we had for like a double pack, or like the Monster Jam creatures. Like I would have liked to see those. But, like, who else would you have given those to? Like, Adam or Weston?
It would have, yeah. What I would have done probably is what you just said. Like, add those different paint schemes and just have Adam and Weston drive, because of course they're all sons of the Digger. But once again, what else would you what would you do with that? Would you just do a freestyle, like all 3?
Yeah,
Like it's a bit. Like I wanted the Son of Digger Encore, of course I did. Son of a Digger's been one of my favorites for years. But I also understand why they didn't do it, because it's a bit harder to think of one.
Yeah. Like, maybe a stunts could have accommodated that, but we'll get onto that soon, actually. Now that I reminded myself of that. Like, a stunt could have accommodated that, but almost it's like Ryan really isn't the one to do stunts. He already does the stunts during the competition. We've seen him do crazy stuff during his skills and freestyle. So for him to do a stunt, I think he would just like flunk that on accident. But yeah, it's just I did want to talk about this for a sec because a lot of people called that out, and I'm like, guys, there's only one son of a digger. How would you do that? And there's only been one synonymous driver, and of course that's Ryan. Like like I mentioned, you've only had Weston drive it once in Glendale. Uh, and the other two are no longer in Feld, especially Carvalho and Horn. He's retired. Um, but still, it's like it just would have been impossible. Yeah, everyone's salty that it should have been more a more deserved 15th anniversary, but I'm also like Gravedigger didn't celebrate its 15 by then. It celebrated the 20th, the 25th, 30th, 35th, and 40th. We're about to celebrate 45 here, so like I guess they're about to say. I bet they're about to save their money for like whatever they're gonna do for 45th. Probably eventually by then they're gonna bring out Ryan Anderson for that encore too. Like they do always, like the 30th, 35th. Um, but still, it's like for this 15th anniversary Son of Digger, I'm not I'm not I'm not saying I'm not salty that they're not doing it. Is it disappointing? Sure, but it's also like it's only one truck. There wasn't like it's not like seven gravediggers where you could do something possible, more logistical wise, or like something where like the crew chief can just like fix like that because, like I said, son of a digger is one, and you would need that crew chief to bust ass to fix that truck right away. It's like, oh, I need to fix the axle, this and that, get the truck back 100%, and this in like under 30 minutes, I would say. But it's like, yeah, you don't want to do that. You wouldn't want to exhaust him. But that's my take on the son of a digger thing, where everyone's like, oh, you should have gotten this. I'm like, if anything, it probably deserves a paint at least. But even then, like, when has it gone in a different paint that's not the same one for like the last 15 years? The only difference I had was the Avenger hood replaced by a Megalodon body. But other than that, like, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Also, another thing was the stunt that been announced today. Nophagen.
Oh boy.
Nophagen. Who was that was just got announced?
Well, today actually, there were two different announcements for two different trucks. And the first one, which is going to be announced tomorrow, is going to be the new truck that Camden Murphy is going to be driving for the speed record attempt in Indianapolis. And it is going to be a truck named Power Rush. And the design, the render, it looks like a race car, like an Indy car, if you will. And the teaser of the body and even Camden Murphy's driver's suit and the helmet too, it actually looks peak cinema. Anybody else want to take their thoughts on that? Break the
I
awkward
Nope.
silence.
I think it's gonna be
Okay.
cool. Of course, we're gonna get this reveal early. It isn't like the record breaking tomorrow during qualifying.
um, I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow, to be honest with
Or
you,
is it
because I know
Saturday?
qualifying's over 3 days over there
Oh,
in Indianapolis. So
what
I'm not
date was
sure
that?
which day it is.
What day was that on?
I don't think they gave a specific day out of those three.
Well, they gave the here. Let me look for it actually, because I remembered it was like it's May something, and I was like I have a feeling it's like as soon as after the selection show. Uh, okay, so
And maybe fans will get to see this truck at the World Finals too, along with another one that we're going to discuss here in just a moment.
Well, I'm gonna keep talking about Power Rush here. I think it's gonna look really cool in person. I'm excited for something different, like an IndyCar monster truck. Apparently it is gonna be in Foxborough, So I guess that'll be its first competition wise. So because of course there's still one TBA truck, and obviously I think we all know what that's going to be since they haven't announced it yet. And yeah, I think it's
Okay,
gonna
so
really cool.
all right, so I'm seeing the details on MonsterJam.com. Tomorrow, the truck is going to be unveiled at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And then on Sunday, May 17th, between 5 and 6 p.m., that is when Camden's going to go for the world record attempt in speed. And Saturday, early in the morning, they're going to be doing some test runs. So that's when you can expect to see Camden try to break the speed record attempt.
Yeah. Also, I've heard word that this is gonna happen like literally on the Indianapolis track itself. And there's like no drag strip or anything. This is on the track itself, so that actually already sounds scary if you think about it. He's gonna have to time that correctly, but I don't know when they're gonna, have like a cutoff line or finish line for when they capture the time of that truck. But best of luck to Camden Murphy this upcoming weekend in that brand new Power Rush IndyCar themed truck. I can't wait to see what it looks like as well. I know we've already seen what it looks like as a toy with the sub series from Spin Master, with the other three trucks, of course, Gravedigger, Megalodon, Ultra Loco. Other little fun facts that someone pointed out last time I was on Facebook is that there is numbers on the trucks, and it represents the years they debuted. So like Gravediggers is 82, Ultra Locos is 01, Megalodon 17, and Pyro Rush 26. Of course, the years they all debuted. So a little fun fact for the toys if anyone's gonna get them. But Power Rush unveils this weekend. Debuts sometime this summer. I know Dorsey said Foxborough, but yeah, stunt. Okay, so stunts. Did we get to the Blippi one?
Oh, yeah. Horace Scott Jordan had to be in a Monster Jam video with Blippi, 37-year-old man, by the way, who wears a light blue shirt, orange overalls, an orange tie, orange glasses, orange and blue cap, and somehow he's gotten more involved with Monster Jam than any of us have, professionally. Why is this guy
Hamburger.
getting why? Yeah, why is this guy getting a truck? Why is a Cadillac Escalade coming back to Monster Jam just to have Blippi's branding on it? What are we doing? The
Because the
fans
kids.
are not going to take a picture of this truck at all. They're going to just completely bypass this, unless
Oh,
you're like a mom influencer
that
on Instagram.
yeah, the moms, yeah, or like the diehard fans are. We're all definitely skimming this one. I hope it's the same situation as the Fortnite stunt truck where we had it just for just that one event and that's it. Never seen it again. But yeah, what are we doing?
Is what's Monster Jam come to? What happened to the game I loved?
Dorsey, thoughts on this?
Oh, thoughts. Oh man, do I have thoughts? I really don't know what to say, to be honest. If you want to know what I said and what everyone else said, you can look at the comments and have reveal. Because not a single positive comment I've seen on there, besides one mom who said, I love him, and that was it. But but seriously, poor Scott Jordan. He really said for everyone to see around the world, I'm a huge fan of you, Blippi.
You can tell he was very uncomfortable in that
He really was.
conversation with Blippi.
Yeah. So I guess that's happening.
Yeah,
How do I
yeah.
feel about it? I really don't care, but it's just weird. I don't know.
This is what Monster Jam has come to.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's one of a couple things we have this upcoming World Finals, apart from Power Rush this weekend, and of course the Encores. One thing I also did want to talk about real fast, going back to Son of a Digger, talking about all the designs, fire, gears, blue. Of course, I've seen a lot of people, do throwback designs to the original Son of a Digger mud truck. Now imagine that as a real thing, but like to the casual fans, they'll be like, "What is that? Like, why does that look disappointing?" If that was us like 10 years ago, we would have been like, "What is this? We don't understand it." Like now we'd be like, "Oh, cool, they did that design," but it's like to the casual eyes, it's like, what's this? Why is it boring?"
I'm gonna bigger Ryan Anderson. He's not gonna go anywhere in this business.
No. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in. Yeah, Son of a Digger, Blippy, the Toros, Power Rush, and anything else happening this just real
Please
soon.
help.
Yeah, everything's just been going crazy these last couple times. But other than that, anything else we got to talk about?
I don't think so, boss. Just if you're going to World Finals and you see Blippy, run away.
But anyway, I believe that'll be it. Of course, don't forget to follow us at SUSL Off the Track at Instagram and listen to us on Spotify and YouTube. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to SDSL, the main accounts on YouTube and Instagram. Of course, merch will be in the links provided down below. For other than that, for Nafagen, Dorzy, and Zona Monsters, I am Lane Flores. We'll see you guys next time for some more monster trucks.